What's up guys, welcome back to question number 31 of the database unity video series. My name is Untitled and I hope you're having a great weekend. So in this video, question number 31, we are discussing a brand new question. So if you have been in touch with us, you know that question number 16 has been discussed so far. It's a big question, so I separated it into about 14 parts. So I have included them in 14 separate videos. So question number 16 to question number 30, we have discussed question number 16. That's the main question. So if you haven't watched that, you can go ahead and watch it. I have left the video link in the description below. So in this video, I am going to discuss a brand new question. So even if you haven't watched those videos, it's fine. If you want to catch up with the concepts again, I'm going to start off from this video, but I won't be explaining the basics because I have already done that. Okay. So in this video, question number 31, let's go ahead and check it out. So this is question number 31. So in this question, I'm going to discuss a brand new question. So first I'm going to read the questions, and in this main question I have 6 parts, that is from 1 to 6. From 1 to 6 I have 6 parts. So I will be discussing these 6 parts after reading the question. Okay. So just read. So the question says, the bill book system is used to keep information on the bills of the shoe store. It's a shoe store and its name is Aralia Shoe Center. This method is used for a long time, but using this method will embarrass the shop owner and employees, because with the advancement of technology, people tend to be more shifted towards computer software rather than storing data in books. So obviously he gets embarrassed, and also his employees. So he thought of moving to a new method of storing this information. So the accountant working in the shop pointed out to the shop owner the disadvantages of the bill book system. So disadvantages pointed out were the loss of. So these are the main disadvantages. Loss of bill books, that means they get misplaced, and damage to bill books, and the need for separate space for storing bill books. Because of these factors, the store owner realizes that the bill book system is difficult to use and decides to use computer software. Okay, like I said, he decided to move on to computer software because he had many disadvantages in using the bill books. So the software was developed, that means the computer software that he is going to use is developed by AI Soft company, and it's a software development company, and they are saying just think of a scenario where you are the senior software engineer of this company. You and your team are asked with creating the database of this system, and you and your team are going to design the database of this software. As you know, for every software we need a database for storing and management of the data. So we are asked to create the required ER diagram. ER diagram means entity relationship diagram. We have discussed a lot of questions from ER diagrams in the previous videos. So to do this, follow the instructions. Name the database as Aralia Shoe Center. Okay. So they have given us a name for the database, so we must allocate this name for the database. And question number 31, first question. Okay, here we go. So I am going to draw the ER diagram using using the MySQL workbench. So if you have been in touch with us, we did some questions from MySQL workbench software for creating the ER diagrams. So basically you can't draw ER diagrams using the MySQL software. That's why I chose the MySQL work. So here is MySQL workbench. So this is where I'm going to create the database, create the ER diagram. So the first question is asking create the user table. Okay. First of all, we must create the database Aralia Shoe Center. So I'm going to double click on MyDB. So I must replace the name of the database as MyDB. Okay. So clear shoe center. Earlier shoe sentence. Now I have designed the database. Now I have to want to create the ER diagram, so you have to double click on add diagram. Okay, so once you double click on that, you will be brought up to a new interface. So this is the interface where you design the ER diagram. So if you want a table, you just have to create the table icon and click on it once and place it onto the sheet. So once you place it onto the sheet, you will get a table here. So once you double click on that, you can make the variations of the table there. Okay. So this is the table information. So I'm going to replace the table name with user. So once you change it, the name here will also be changed. As you can see, user. So if you take a look at the question again, so my first column is user ID. So user underscore ID, that should be an auto increment primary key and not null. So once I give a tick to auto increment, so I gave auto increment to this column. So my next column is,
so next column is first name and next the last name, and also I have to mention the contact number and status. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do the first name and what I still qualified, and I'll include not null to this column. And because you can't have any non-values, that means it is compulsory to enter data onto this column. So the next one is the contact number and status. Okay, so contact number usually in Sri Lanka we have a 10-digit number, so I'm just going to add 10 here, and it should also be not null. And also I'm going to include the status, that means whether a certain customer is active or not. So I'm going to include this with an integer, that means an active user is represented by 0, an active user is represented by 1, and an inactive user is represented by 0. Okay, this should also be not null. So that's the end of the first question. I created the user table. Okay, next move on to the next one. So these are very easy questions. So you can try it by yourself if you want. You just have to install MySQL server onto your computer. Okay, create a gender table. So I have to create a gender table. My next table name should be gender, and it should have a gender ID and a name. So the gender name should be have a character limit of 10. So okay, so I'm going to create another table. Double click on it, and you get the table information, and I'm going to rename it as gender. Then my first column is, according to question, it should be gender ID. This also auto increment. This should also be auto increment, and also the gender name. The next column is gender name, and it should have a character length of only 10. That means you can't enter gender names which are greater than 10, which has letters greater than 10. I will also mention the not name here because it's compulsory to enter. Okay, that's the end of the second question. These are very easy questions, as I said. You can also try them out. So next table is the user type. So another table. So these are your tools which you can use to create your ER diagram. So just have to rename this as user underscore type. Then my first column is according to the question, let's see, it's user type ID and user type name. Next two columns, user type, user underscore type underscore ID. Okay, this should also be according to. Then the user underscore type underscore name. This can be 45 characters. This has a character of 45 characters. Okay. So that's the end of the third question. I have also mentioned not null to this column also. Then moving on to the next one. Next question. Third one is also done. Go on to the next question. We have to create a table called system login. I have to create the system login table. So system login table has three columns: the login ID, the username, and also the password. Okay. Username has a character length of 20 characters and password column has a character length of 45. Okay. So my next table is user login. System login, sorry. System login. System underscore login. So you don't mention spaces when you are naming columns because sometimes the spaces between sometimes the gap of one space and two space cannot be identified, and also when you are getting data from now if you are making this database for a software, particular software, it's difficult to retrieve data with spaces, so I am going to replace the space with an underscore. So my first column in the system login table is the login underscore ID. So login ID, login underscore ID, auto entry. Next column is the username and passwords. Next column is username. Should have character length of 20. Should also be not that. And next column is password. Should also be not that. I've included the character length of 25, but I think that's too much. I'll leave it on the 30. So far we have created 4 tables for 4 separate questions. Let's look at the next question. That is the end of the 4th question. So the 5th question is asking create a table for address. We have to create an address table which includes 4 columns this time. It has the address ID, the number, the street 1 or street 2. So in this table I am going to include I have to create the table like this. Click on it. The address table, and first one is the address ID, address underscore ID, should also be a pointer. AI means a pointer. So next one is number. Number I have to include the data type as int because it's only a number, so I have to also include this not null column. Otherwise, it's not compulsory to include the not null because some addresses don't have street numbers. So street 1. So street 1 has a character length of 45 also, and the next one is street underscore 2. It should also be street underscore 1. We have 2 columns. Now I'll just leave on street number 1 because street number 1 is compulsory and you may or may not have street number 2. So this is the address table. That's the end of the fifth question. So moving on to the last question. The last question is we have to create the city table which has the city ID and the city names. Okay. So I'm going to create another table. The city table which has two columns, which has city underscore ID, which has a point given, and the next one is the city name. I'll include that with the character length of 45. Yeah. Okay, and also in the city table I have to include another column for the city name, so I'll just put a tick also. So here you are the total linear diagram. We haven't included the relationships. If you know about them, you can include them. But I will be doing the relationships in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video. That is question number 32. So I'll meet you guys then. Bye guys.